Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, April 19th. So we have the moon in Aries all day. Of course, we're building to the new moon in Aries. This is a solar eclipse in Aries that for some of us will be taking place at the end of the day, and for the majority of us be taking place in the wee hours Thursday morning on the 20th. Regardless of where the peak energy is at for you, we are building in energy. We are in the midst of the craziness of the chaos. Now, this is an inner realm situation as eclipses affect our consciousness. They affect our karma. We have a lot of inner realm swirling going on, and because we are in the dark phase of the moon, we should really be sitting with ourselves, figuring out what we're frustrated with, what we no longer want to experience, what we have to improve, what we want to create. This is a time to really take the anger, take the frustration, take the restlessness, and identify where it is that you're being asked to make some major changes. This is also the last day, technically, of Aries season. Why, you may ask? Well, because just hours after we peak in this eclipse energy, the sun will be moving into Taurus season. And not to mention, within 24 hours of that, we have Mercury going retrograde. So this is just a whole kit and caboodle of craziness, confusion, and chaos. Now, this is actually considered a moon day because there are 6 different aspects taking place, and all 6 involve the moon. So we're definitely going to have to keep our emotions in check. Keep in mind that the dark force energy wants us to lose our shit, wants us just to flip our lid, to have a little tantrum. That's what Aries energy is all about in the shadow realm of existence, is just acting on impulse, acting out our emotional chaos and confusion, and of course create a little bit of drama that really doesn't need to be there. So although it's going to be very hard to keep your emotions in check, that should be the goal. So the moon in Aries is going to come up to, bump into, and conjunct Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. And of course, been in Aries for quite some time, really kind of showing us where it is that our trauma story, our pain story has been too intertwined with our personal identity. And of course, on this healing journey, the more that we are able to heal, able to overwrite as far as the old memories and scripts go, we are essentially changing who it is that we are as an individual, as an ego. Now, this could go one of 2 ways. And again, because we're in this wacky moon energy and eclipse energy, it is likely that many of us are going to fall victim to the shadow elements of this particular energy. So here's the thing. The shadow elements is that we are going to lose our shit. We are running hot. Our emotions are going to boil over. We are going to throw a tantrum. We're going to be angered, frustrated, irritated, just feeling like we're stuck, just feeling like we want to take any kind of action to move on. The positive side to these particular qualities is that we have the ability to be inspired. We have the ability to be motivated, to be determined. Now, the best way that we can tap into the balance of both of these energies is to allow ourselves to be angry, to be frustrated, allow ourselves to feel that restlessness, that impulse to want to make a great change, and then use that as a framework to identify what isn't working, conjure up a better reality that we would like to be living in the place of the things that we no longer want to experience. And from that, that's how we kind of set our sights on new intentions. The moon is going to bump into Uranus very shortly after. Uranus, of course, the great awakener. He likes to shake things up. We have to expect the unexpected, not only with the Uranian energy, but with the eclipse energy as well. And this isn't going to be one of these aha breakthrough moments. Instead, we are going to be observing where it is that we're confused, where it is that the chaos, the craziness, if you will, in our inner realm and in our physical realms, in our circumstances that are just kind of popping off, where it is that we have to examine our attachments. What are we resistant to change? Why are we still kind of in this repeating loop of circumstance and situation? And the answer, hate to tell you, is that you may be the problem. You may be the block. So we really have to kind of sit in our confusion and our chaos, really identify why it is that we're kind of in a Groundhog Day, and analyze whether or not we are helping things move along or whether or not we're holding up the whole situation by being too overly attached to old ideas, old jobs, old relationships, old versions of yourself. Again, you cannot continue to pray for change and then not make any changes. It is up to you to get out of your own damn way. Now, the moon is going to semi-square with Saturn. This is not going to feel good. Saturn, of course, the Lord of Karma, ruling over structures, roles, responsibilities. He's in this Pisces energy, so there is this element of bringing certain topics and themes to an end, to a closure point, to a completion point. The Pisces energy is very cleansing, very purifying, but we do have to kind of examine the shadow elements where maybe you feel like you're stuck in a victimhood story. Maybe you are so attached to certain beliefs that, you're actually creating a blockage for yourself in moving forward. Regardless, because this eclipse energy is very connected to karma, and Mr. Saturn here is trying to wrap up a 30-year cycle of karma in this Pisces energy, we are going to feel the weight. We are going to feel the tough love life lessons. We are going to be reminded of everything that we've gone through. This is essentially a recognition of how far we've come, what that is meant for molding and shaping us, what that is meant for new mission, new meaning, new purpose. And we are going to feel the weight on our heart space, on our head space. We're going to feel the pressure because that's what happens when you're on the brink of making a major, major change. And whether you realize that consciously that you're making a change, you are, okay? This is a karmic event. Whether you are aware of the changes consciously or not, the changes are coming at you. So this is why we're kind of all feeling a little bit jittery, because we know that we're on the brink of a major transformation. The moon will then bump into, conjunct, sit next to Jupiter, which is going to help us out just a tad, I would hope, because here's the thing. The shadow realm of this is that we are magnifying the not so nice thoughts, the not so nice feelings. We are going to see the volume turned all the way up on our inner realm state of existence. So if you are angered, if you're frustrated, if you're irritated, you are going to be feeling that just be absolutely magnified, intensified, because Jupiter is about growth and expansion. He just blows everything up. There's like an over-exaggeration that takes place when Jupiter's involved. The lighter aspects that this could possibly trigger within us is to lighten our mood, to make us a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more confident, be a little bit more hopeful, kind of, I'm going to say, pick us up a little bit, definitely turn up the positive vibes just a tad, but sometimes we have to start in the pit of the darkness and work our way out of that pit in order to actually see the bigger, broader picture, the perspective, the possibilities. So again, we are building in this eclipse energy and of course, very much sitting in the dark phase of the moon, which is never a pleasant time. So it's really going to be interesting to see how individually we tap into these energies and then collectively as well, seeing that this is a karmic event, an attempt to raise the collective consciousness. So then we have the moon go ahead and semi-square Venus. This is a tension point. This is a conflict. Venus is all about who and what we love. This is about our self-worth. This is about the routines that we have in our life, whether or not we are creating enough space for happiness and joy to infiltrate each and every single day. This is looking at our lives, where it is that we feel safe, secure, and stable, or where it is that we do not, and come up with a new solution. Of course, Venus is very focused on relationships. We are moving into the Aries and Libran axis of all of these karmic events taking place, which is definitely putting relationships on focus, on the spotlight. And first we have to concentrate on the relationship with ourselves. Then we kind of open that up to the relationships with other people. Venus being in Gemini energy has us very polarized, very kind of split on the choices, on the decisions. We are kind of bored. We're looking to spice things up. We're wondering if the grass is greener on the other side. And basically, we're just in a state where we are trying to figure out what it is that we can change in our physical realms in order to invite in happiness, joy, safety, security, stability, and realizing, because this is a semi-square tension point, where it is that we're not feeling the greatest. We're not getting down with all of the things that, we should be happy about, that we should be kind of plucking joy and pleasure from. This is going to be more of a realization on what is bothering the F out of us, what is irritating us, what we no longer want to experience. Because again, that's the whole point of a new moon, which is to realize what it is that you're done with in order to create something new to take its place. The last thing we have going on here is the moon interacting with Neptune in such a way that would present us with an opportunity to see a choice point, to see a crossroads point. So Neptune is in its place of power in Pisces energy. So this is our spiritual selves, our intuition, our soul contracts, our karma, our dreams, our creativity. And in Pisces energy, of course, we are really kind of looking to renew and refresh and revive our soul, our spirit. It's been very depleted as of late. But here's the thing. We're not going to have a very good connection with our higher selves, with our intuition, with our guides, with the higher forms of intellect. Why is that? Well, because eclipse energy blocks us from that. We're supposed to sit by ourselves without this universal help in order to see what it is that we've actually learned, where it is that we need to stop looking outside of ourselves for validation and start looking within ourselves. This particular new moon, because it's in Aries energy, the first sign of the zodiac, is very concentrated on the ego identity, the ego avatar, which means that we are being pulled away from our higher selves, pulled away from our intuition, pulled away from the universal intelligence in order for us to concentrate on what our physical selves, our egoic selves actually need.